Hey, this is fantastic, guys. I love what we do here at Dream Connections and part of the tribe. And one of the great members of the tribe, our man of action, Joel. And Joel, give a shout out. Say, hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
This has been a fun story. We've only been back from the March tour, what, 3 weeks?
Seems about right.
Feels like an eternity, though, right? It's
Oh
just
yeah.
crazy. It's just crazy. Well, what I want to do is, guys just like to know that everybody's relatable. What's your life? Just tell them a little bit about what you do and how you first thought about going overseas and how you found Dream Connections. And we'll tell them more about last month, all right?
Cool. I guess I started by watching some of the YouTube videos. It
Uh-huh.
was a great. I really related to a lot of them, and I liked them. Um, it seemed like a great idea. As soon as I saw them, I was like, I have to do that.
Wow.
So last year, I kind of was in a weird living situation. I was staying house sitting somewhere else, so I couldn't go right away. But I was counting the minutes until I was coming home, and then I first thing booked my trip.
Wow. Well, that's awesome, man. So how long were you prior to finding us? Were you thinking about what made you first think about looking overseas for a potential wife?
My friend had given me that Anastasia app, and he's like, "Oh, this will be great." And I kind of did a little bit of research on it, and it was really scammy looking. So I was like, no thanks." But I looked around, and I thought it looked like a good idea. So I looked around, and I figured, well, there's got to be something better.
Cool. And it looks like you found it.
Definitely.
All right. So tell the guys what it's like, because if guys are new to us, and we're getting new guys all the time. So what's it like to first, like, you put in an app with the company, you get prepared, you meet the other guys before you come. Give a little bit about what it's like getting ready to come over to Ukraine to meet women.
It was a lot more preparation than I had anticipated.
Yeah.
You got to watch the trainings, and you got to do the interview with Marina, and then I did the interview with you. I mean, it wasn't super hard. It was definitely worth it. And Marina gives you like a little bit of homework to do, which I mean, it was all very worth it, but it was a lot to just get going.
Yeah.
Once I was going though, it was definitely worth it, and it was worth all the time, and didn't really take all that much time. It was just I kind of spread it out, and I would do one thing one day, and then
Right.
I would do the next thing for Marina the next day, and then I just kind of sent it all to her at the end of the week.
Well, it's funny because it's kind of like you don't think about having to do homework for something like this, right? I mean, you go on a vacation, it's just a vacation. Um,
Yeah, but sometimes it's worth it.
yeah.
Sometimes it's definitely worth it.
Oh, I definitely think it was worth it. It's just different. It's a different experience altogether. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so we go over in to Ukraine and just yeah, give a run through of the, like prior to the moment when we started actually dating. Let's lead the guys up to what it's like to be in a foreign country. Had you been overseas before, or what was this like?
I've actually been overseas quite a bit, but
Really?
definitely different than anything I've ever done. I've been to like South Korea, Japan. I've been to the Caribbean quite a bit. I traveled a lot as a kid because my dad was military, and
Hmm.
then just since I've grown up, I've liked to travel quite a bit. So, actually, me and Kate are going to Batumi, Georgia, in the end of May, beginning of June.
That is
I'm looking
cool.
forward to that as well. But I mean, up to getting to Ukraine, I was kind of I knew it would be hopefully different because I've never been to that part of the world
Hmm.
yet. And when I got there, it was definitely different. The food was different, and it was great. We did that barbecue the first night, I think,
Yeah.
and and that was awesome. I was like, this I could get used to this.
All right. Well, so tell us about this whole experience about then finally meeting these girls and what this whole thing was like for you compared to any other dating you've done.
It was very different, and the first couple of tables at the event were brutal. I
Yeah.
got lucky. I did like I think 3 tables, and then I had a break, and my translator sat me down and was like, "Just calm down. You'll be fine. Just just act natural, and everything will go much better." But the first couple of tables were kind of brutal. I was like, I had no idea what I was in for.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was good brutal because they were asking a lot of really intense questions like that. I'm like, how do I answer that? Like, how would you know? Like, how do you answer? are you a good man? I'm like, well, I think I am, but I mean, I don't know how I would tell you that I am. But I mean, it's a lot of questions that let you know they're interested. It lets you know that they're serious. And I that's what I was there for. So I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly, I mean, it was difficult, but it was exactly what I was hoping for.
Yeah, it was honest. You know, and I appreciate that. I always tell guys, well, you know, because you're at my coaching, but I always say, there's nothing I can shortcut to get through your first few tables. It's nothing like you've ever done before. It's going to feel awkward, but you just got to do it, and then it gets smoother after that. Um, so tell me about the ladies you date with and what led up to meeting Kate.
Um, Actually, Kate wasn't at the events,
Right.
and I had gone on a couple of dates early in the week. I think like I'm trying to remember. I went on quite a few dates. There was a lot of girls, and there were a lot of very beautiful girls. I was kind of down to two that I really liked, and Kate had come to meet her sister at the hotel one night, and so I kind of met her a little bit, and then my translator, because Kate's actually my translator's sister,
Yeah.
so the translator messaged me that night and goes, so Kate's interested in going on a date, and I was like, oh, well, that's awesome. So the next day we went on a date, and I was like, nope, I'm done. We can cancel all my other dates. I don't need to do anything else. She's amazing. And it's kind of funny because my translator was like kind of telling me, okay, this is going to go great. Just act natural, be yourself. You've been great all week. So just, and then we get up to the door to go to when where we're going to meet Kate. And my translator goes, but by the way, she's been doing this for like 3 years. She's been dating guys this way, and she's never gone on a second date. And I'm like, oh, I'm screwed. I'm screwed. But everything went great, and my translator, I told her like, I don't care. I want to go on a second date. And so she messaged me later that night, and she's like, yeah, Kate's definitely interested in a second date. So you did really well. Obviously better than she's actually had before. So I was like, I feel special.
No, you're definitely special. So, guys, let me take a quick moment and tell some translator stories, get the guys up to speed. So, first of all, guys, we've had four of our translators married in the past, and typically they're not the translator for the client. So, you know, if legacy has it, chances are, even if you did end up with a translator, it's not going to be the one assigned to you. Just that's the way it works. I don't know why. It's always worked that way. And in this case, we have some people that have been with us for the full 4 or 5 years. And Anna, who's his translator, has been with us probably at least 4 years, you know, of the time, and she's been part of the family, and we love her. And she has an identical twin sister, Kate. And I think Kate's even translated for us before. They both speak great English, but you know, so it's funny because you'll see in past tour events, you'll see a picture of Kate at the event, and you're going, well, wait, is that or is that? So you know, it's really been fun, and we love them both, and their personalities are just different a little bit, you know, and so I mean, obviously, you spend time with them, it's easy for you to tell who's who, but you know, most people just looking at first glance, it's that the whole identical twin thing. But so it's funny. So this particular tour, and it's true, most of our translators who have found a guy, you know, obviously they've been through many, many of our tours. They've seen hundreds of our clients, and like my classic story is both with Julia, you know, who's now Julia Rodriguez, Gala, who's now Jeremy and Gala. I would tease them. I would say, "So you find anybody you like?" And they'd always say, "Now, Mark, you know I don't date the clients." And then in both their cases, it's like I ask the question, so you see anybody you like? Wait and go, no, Mark. But then they go, well, I go, what? You know, my eyes kind of go, what? So, you know, it's just kind of an interesting thing. And I know that, like you said, this is one thing guys have to understand. These girls aren't in a quick hurry to just leave their country. They're not out to just go find the next bigger, better deal. You know, you talk about anybody who would know, it's the translators who've met guys from every walk of life, every economic scale, every part of the world, but they're waiting to find somebody they feel is the connection to their heart. They're looking for their half, and they're not going to settle for less. They would rather just stay there and take the little jobs they make, you know, and the income they make, and enjoy their life the way they know it. And so, you know, guys, please understand when you know, he says Kate had been over the course of a year while her sister was translating. She'd come occasionally to the event. She'd dated other guys, but she hadn't gone on second dates. It's because this is you know, if I can help you get over this, this thing about they're just looking to leave their country, or they're looking just to get a green card, or they're going to go take your money or something. You have no idea what the real people of this country are like. And I'm sorry for you, because I understand you've been involved in the dating industry, the Anastasias, the other places where it's a profession. It's an industry of people who just want you to keep feeding their meter. But most of the girls that are part of our company, the part of our event, they're not actively involved in this online dating world. They do their life, they live at home, they have jobs. Kate's got a job. She's been an executive secretary for what, 3-4 years for somebody, and
Yeah, she had from what I understand, a good job. And they were
yeah,
telling me, and her sister was telling me how much she makes, and I was like, that's very interesting for a good job.
yeah, exactly. But they're happy with it. They're not sitting here trying to hang at the borders, looking to jump on the next mule train that comes by. So I think it's just such a cute story, because I've always loved that moment with all of those stories where it's like both with Julia and Gala, now with Kate, where you just go, so you see anybody you like, and they go, well, no, not really, and then all of a sudden they go, well, maybe, and you're like, what? It's just so cute. It's so cute. Because the most important thing that Joel, I'll just tell you about your story is that moment when you feel like somebody else is just as much into you as you are into them. you know. So tell me, after you got your second date, how the rest of this built and progressed.
After our second date, it was pretty good. They were talking about taking me to meet their mom, and I
Wow.
think I sent some pictures of that. Her mom was really great. Her
Yeah.
mom was kind of funny. She was
Yeah.
telling me all the stories that Anna and Kate wouldn't tell me.
Nice.
So it was pretty good.
Nice guys.
We actually went to the club that night, and her mom actually, it's funny because her mom partied more than Ann and Kate both.
Oh my gosh. Didn't the
So her
mom
mom was a
speak
lot of fun.
English? The mom spoke English
Um,
or no?
no, I understand she was dating somebody in Denver.
Mm.
Um, but she's from what I understand, she's taking lessons, but she's not fluent
Fluent
yet. So
yet, yeah.
Kate was doing a lot of translating when we were going with her mom.
It's so cute. So tell me about some of your favorite moments during the week with Kate.
So I remember you were telling me, remember those moments, and I was like, I'm never gonna remember these. But God, there was a couple that just, I mean, like our first date, we got about halfway through, and I was just like, man, this, I mean, everything was just so perfect, and she was just, we could talk about anything, and we were talking about just all kinds of random stories from her and I both growing up and things like that. And I was just like, it just doesn't really seem to matter what we're talking about. It's just we were hanging out, and it was having, and that's when I knew. I was like, oh, I'm done. Yeah, she's the one. Um, and then from there, it was just, I mean, getting to know each other more every day. Like we would go on dates, and I think we had a date every day after Wednesday, because Wednesdays was our first date. And
Wow.
then she actually came. Uh, I think I left on the same. Yeah, I left on the same flight with you, and
Hmm.
she came at like 5 a.m. in the morning to come see me off, and I was kind of impressed by that because
Yeah.
she works like I think 9 to 9 every day, or
Hmm.
9 to 7 every day. So she works long hours, and she woke up super early for that. I was very impressed. But
Yeah.
we had been talking about shawarma the day before, and she brought me shawarma in the morning. So I mean, definitely remember that. I mean, I'm trying to remember, like we went bowling, and that was pretty amazing. Me and her were just kind of goofing around all night.
Mm.
I mean, we did a ton of things while we were there, but most of it was just us hanging out and talking and getting to know each other. There was a lot of just wandering around. We did a lot of walking, which was kind of unusual for me. I don't walk that much these days.
Oh, you will in Ukraine.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And she has a dog that is kind of a very interesting dog that she goes walking with a lot. And I have a dog, so we've been trading pictures of our dogs over Viber.
Oh,
Her
that's so
dog is
cute.
Sherry. It's like a, she said it's some sort of special breed of husky that they breed for Ukraine there, and it's got the different colored eyes.
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, it's super cool. And I have a beagle, so mine's not that cool, but he's still a great dog, and he's kind of funny. And I tell her like, I send her pictures of how our dog hangs out during the day because I go outside and he's just hanging out in the pool, kind of.
Yeah, yeah. That's chill. That's so chill. Okay, so what on earth got you to think about Georgia as a place to go vacation? And we're not talking about Georgia that's next to Florida. We're talking about the
No, no.
country. So what,
Yeah.
most people don't even know where that is or what it's about. Why was that the choice?
Actually, Anya had been, and she showed me some pictures during some of our downtime while we were over there, and I was like, wow, some of the pictures she showed me, like the Ali and Nino and all of that, I was like, wow, that seems really great. I want to go there. So we had been talking later in the week, me and Kate, about where we want to go together. And I told her, well, I'd like to come back and visit you, but I'd kind of like to go maybe take us somewhere else because it'd be, I mean, fun. We could have a little mini vacation together. And I had looked around a lot in Europe and things like that, but I found out that she was going to need a visa to go to almost anywhere.
Mhm.
And it was going to be kind of short notice to get a visa. So I figured, well, we'll go somewhere where she doesn't. And the list was really short. So it was like Georgia. I think there was like three countries. It was Georgia, um,
There's Georgia,
Turkey.
there's Dominican Republic, Turkey, Thailand, and Egypt, which I wouldn't go to right now. But
Yeah.
yeah, you can go. You can go if you somebody wanted to. And I've had guys do this: take their girl to Dominican Republic and do a tropical vacation. But that's a lot of travel for them, and most of them aren't that well versed on the air. But Georgia's such a great choice because I don't know if you know this. The former president of Georgia was the mayor of Odessa for a while there, and so there's this great connection between the two countries, and they speak Russian there, so it's very comfortable for them to go there. And they also make the greatest wine. I mean, this red wine they make, I always special order it for our traditional Ukrainian dinner, and it's just like amazing. So they're famous for their wines and the green mountains. I mean, it's kind of like Switzerland, right? The Alps and everything. You see these pictures, these incredible mountains. And Ukraine has some too. I haven't been to the Carpathian Mountains, but I see photos and you're just like, wow. So now I'm sure you guys are going to have a fantastic time. I'm
Yeah, I've
really
been looking at stuff to do there, and there's just tons of stuff. There's a dolphinarium right across from our hotel.
nice, nice. That's insane. Well, I'm happy for you, brother. And of course, keep me in the loop too. I'd love to, stay connected with you guys, help in any way we can. Just, it sounds like the whole thing kind of took you by surprise that it just actually all came together. What we says is true. It actually was true. And wow, here you are today, right?
Yeah, I was a little bit skeptical. It seemed like it might be too good to be true, but I'm the kind of guy that I'm just like, you know what? I'll go find out, and what's the worst that happens? I had a great vacation.
Yeah,
And it was a great vacation one way or the other, but I mean, the fact that I found Kate while I was there just made it the best vacation ever.
absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now you get to have somebody to share your other vacations with. So that's cool.
Definitely.
Right on. All right. Any last words you want to share with the guys?
Um, it's a great experience. And if you're missing out, then you need to get on this ASAP because it's one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Wow. Well, 10 years later, I'm going to agree. That's awesome, bro. All right, man. Have a great day. We'll look forward to keeping up with you guys and hopefully being friends for life and having another one of our great stories. But anyway, we're just our hearts with you and we'll support you any way we can. And that's what we do. So, all right, man. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Thanks, man.